Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how you can take a whole carrot like this and break it down into a nice, unique knife cut. This is called a Julienne. Kind of looks like a matchstick. But first, let's review how we're going to safely hold a knife, okay? So we already went over the parts of a knife like a handle and the spine and the edge. We're putting it all together. Remember, we like to wrap our fingers around the handle, make sure we have a good secure grip. Now, one thing I don't want to see ever is you putting your pointer finger on the spine like this. This is something that a lot of people make mistakes when they're first starting out in the kitchen. You might think it feels more comfortable, but it actually throws off your balance on your handle, and it's more likely to make you move to slip when you're cutting and it cause an injury. So instead, what I would like to see is you pinching the spine like this with your pointer finger and your thumb, okay? And then you wrap the rest of your fingers around the handle, and you have a nice secure grip, okay? Now to get started on our julienne. So you take your whole carrot like this, and you're going to peel it using a vegetable peel. Look at that. I already got it done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to trim the ends off. Now these carrots are pretty big. You might not work with something like this at home, but in a restaurant setting, we use carrots like this all the time. These are called feeding carrots. So what we're going to do is now we're going to break this carrot down in half, okay? From here, it's much more manageable for me to make my julienne knife cut. But one thing we want to know, guys, this carrot is round. It can move all over the table. It kind of scares me a little bit when we're cutting. We're going to make this a little bit more safe. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut a small slice out of it to make a flat edge on here. A nice flat edge, okay? So it doesn't really matter the thickness. I'm just trying to make a flat edge so my carrot doesn't roll as easily. Now it's way more secure. I feel way safer when we're cutting it. And now I'm going to dive right into it. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to make some thin slices into my carrot, okay? Since we're first starting, this is our first time making a julienne, we're not going to go by exact measurements, but we want it to look nice and thin like a matchstick here, okay? So I'm going to cut some slices down. Remember, pinching that knife blade, watching what I'm doing, using that claw technique. Remember we went over that in a previous class? Cutting right down. Making a nice smooth cut. Go until you feel comfortable, okay? Now, I'm a big believer of keeping your cutting board clean when you're working, so always stay nice and organized. Okay, so now we got these nice thin slices like this, all right? Looking pretty good. We got a good amount out of that carrot. So from here, we're going to go to here. Pretty easy. But what we got to do is we just got to trim it a little bit. We want this to be very consistent, okay? Remember why we talked about why we like our knife cuts to be consistent? So they all cook at that same rate. Okay, so I just line the carrot up to my knife right here, and I'm just trying to straighten it out a little bit. Now from there, I use that claw technique again, and I rest the knife right up against my fingers because they're protected. I'm just cutting down, okay? Let's do that again. I trim it so it's nice and straight. Push up against the knife to tell. Clean your trimmings away. You don't want them getting mixed up in your nice knife cuts. All right. From there, you have nice, consistent, matchstick style julienne knife cuts. All right, guys? All right. Thank you for following along.